Welcome back to another exciting episode of Cyber Defense TV. I'm your host, Gary Malewski, and the publisher of Cyber Defense Magazine. Sitting in my hot seat today is a very special guest. He is the general manager of Siemplify, but it's spelled Siemplify.com. And it's Dennis Shaya?
Correct.
Dennis, Siemplify is a SOAR kind of next generation company. So how do you do what you do, and tell me why this is so important because of all the breaches?
Sure, yeah. So first, thank you for having us. So, SOAR has kind of spawned really from the challenge of too many alerts, too much data, a bunch of different security tools that companies have employed and enlisted over the last decade, and overworked analysts that are struggling to make sense of this barrage of data. And so really SOAR and Siemplify as the leading independent SOAR provider has really become the glue that kind of connects the system and security footprint for SOC teams. We connect to a variety of different tools. We provide automation capabilities kind of that drive accelerated decision making and provide that what we like to call SOC workbench for analysts to do their job on a day-to-day basis much more efficiently and effectively.
Speaking of efficiently and effectively, the average breach, they talk about, 180 days later, they find out they've been breached. With a system like yours, are you bringing down that exposure time dramatically because we have not only detection and response time faster, but we have isolation and quarantine so that the exposure is very low or very tiny?
That's one of the key value drivers, right? Is the ability to provide a degree of visibility that historically was just very difficult, right? To automate low-level tasks that so many analysts are wasting their time on, to free them to focus on really the high-risk threats and issues that are plaguing their environment.
Is Siemplify deployed, the SOAR solution deployed as an agent with a dashboard? How do we deploy, and how quick can we deploy?
So there is no agent per se, right? We're deployed whether it's on-prem or in the cloud. It's really whatever our customers demand, right? And so however they've architected their security footprint, we can adapt to that environment. In terms of time to value, our solution comes out of the box, with integrations that are fully built and connectors that accelerate that deployment time. And customers are using our solution within days of deployment.
Is it inline or is it out of band?
It's inline. I would characterize it as.
So you're eavesdropping on traffic and watching behavior?
So we're not a detection tool, to be clear, right? We are a consumer of those detection tools, right? So essentially, we're not trying to replicate the investments that companies have already made from a detection, from a log management perspective. We consume those data sources. We understand the relationships behind those entities and whatnot, and then we provide automated workflow to drive consistency and accelerate analyst capabilities kind of within the SOAR solution.
Can you trigger an event on a switch to quarantine or isolate someone?
So so naturally, because we now connect all these different tools, we're able to then take action from within our solution, right? So if a analyst detects an issue with a potential threat or a endpoint or whatever it may be, they can take action from the platform, and we integrate with those other systems to ultimately to respond.
How often does your solution need an update?
So we're like many companies of our stage. We're putting out releases typically on a quarterly basis, and so that's kind of the cadence that we've managed.
Is there some secret sauce for? And I've heard the term a lot, but you guys started with R&D out of Israel. I would believe you if you tell me you have AI and machine learning.
Sure. So throughout the platform, there's AI and machine learning capabilities that drive things like prioritization of cases and whatnot. In terms of our DNA, it really comes from kind of the Israeli intelligence community, and we came at SOAR from a very kind of investigative angle, right? And so what's that enabled us to do is, we have some proprietary capabilities around contextualization and ontology when it comes to taking all of these different data sources, understanding the relationships, and it's through that context that we're able to accelerate decision making for the analysts. And it's very unique in terms of how we execute.
Very cool. Last two questions. Can anyone afford you, or is it just big enterprises?
So I mean, we service both obviously the large enterprise market that are running complex global SOCs, certainly is in our sweet spot. We also work closely with MSSPs of all sizes, and really any security team that's invested in security tools, that's invested in, has a concern about security, and have analysts looking at this data is a potential candidate for us.
Direct, channel, or both?
So we're a heavy channel-focused company. We work with a variety of channel partners, and that's really the strategic direction that we've gone.
Very cool. You made it through my hot seat.
Very good.
So if our viewers want to soar and get one step ahead of the next threat, Siemplify, spelled with an IE. Siemplify is the company to visit, learn about, and deploy as soon as you can. And then come back next time for an exciting episode of Cyber Defense TV. Thank you.